welcome to the show, everybody. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do some shout outs first. Thanks, Process, Moto Noggin, Evil Rick, Bedlam. What else we got? XAN Biker, Gliding on Twos, Ray's Moto Life, DDK, Hills on Two Wheels, and Harley J, Evil Rick. And I think I might have covered everybody up to this point. So tonight's guest has really helped me out a lot when I decided to do YouTube. I'd reach out to people. She was one of those that would respond back and help somebody who she could. So I'm not going to hold her back anymore. We're bringing on Meg's motorcycle journey and cameraman.
Hi,
how are y'all doing tonight?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little nervous. Oh, where'd you go? There you are.
Yeah, I had a problem. I had to meet it.
Okay. Yeah. First off, hey, with me starting off and me reaching out to you, that was huge for me that, somebody that was on up at the ranks of YouTube would respond back. So,
well, thank you. I try
thanks for being that cool of a person.
Oh, I try to respond to everybody. Not kind of person that really cares about that kind of thing. So, yeah. And as far as being an attorney and practicing law, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't prefer to hang out with lawyers. I prefer to just hang out with regular people because that's not really the kind of person I am. So I try to answer as many messages as I can. I feel like we've met some really cool people in the YouTube community. And so I would just, if I can help somebody, I want to.
Yeah, that's awesome. I thank you for that. I don't know if anybody else has, but sincerely for me, thank you for being that cool of a person.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
A lot of really cool people and a lot that I consider family through YouTube, and y'all have always stood out because y'all was the first ones to help a brother out.
Well, thank you. And you've helped us out a lot too.
Thank you for your help.
I mean, you made us the bracket for Michael's center console, which you still did better than we did.
Is it still having little clearance issues?
Yeah.
I mean, it's grooved enough in there that
okay.
You never notice.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky one day and I'll meet up with you and I'll take a look at it and see if I can get it spaced back right.
Hopefully, head south, right?
Yeah, one of these days. Next year, we're hoping to go cross country in the summer. So hope on our way back up. Actually, Lauren, my best friend, really wants to try to meet us in the Tennessee area on our way home.
Well, something y'all don't know about is September, I think it's the 14th through the 17th. Me and Ray's Moto Life are doing a ride and meetup. We're calling it Tram Tennessee Ride and Meetup. So we're inviting anybody that makes content, anybody that doesn't, that wants to come hang out, kind of give back to the people that support us and go on. I got 2 group rides planned. I'm going to have motorcycle maps for those who don't want to ride in a group or doesn't feel comfortable riding in a group. They can venture out on their own and wander around and get some of the same rides.
Maps.
What app or what program do you use to make maps?
Actually, my map is a paper map. It's I think it's called Freeman.
Good old school paper maps.
Yep. And from there, I'm gonna pass them out. Well, actually, I'm gonna try to get the hotel to pass them out in a packet. Try to get some stickers and poker chips made too. So it'll be a packet when the people check in. They can get that as long as they're at one of the 2 hotels. If they go to another one, they'll have to let me know. So they come see me. I'll get them hooked up.
So can I ask? We've been on other podcasts where they were drinking because that was their thing. To just, have a couple beers.
Coca-Cola.
All right. So I was going to ask, my thing is food more than drinking alcohol. I love food. I know people don't believe this. So if I'm just, munching here while we chat,
You
don't
worked all day, correct?
take it personally.
You worked all day, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, you go ahead and you sit there and munch on you some food while you get interviewed. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I'll try not to talk with my mouth.
There's only 2 ways to shut her up, and this is one of them. The other one I can tell you.
So, oh man, where to start with y'all? Whew. Let's go ahead and get the breakout talk out of the way, because I know there's one channel I love to death, and it's all sports dress talk, and I'm a breakout guy. Cameraman's a breakout guy.
Certainly.
So, cameraman, are you doing any other upgrades at your breakout here over the winter or maybe next year?
Not that he knows about, but I have plans.
The suspension done. Talking about doing a motor upgrade. Part of me loves having my 103. These 114ers think they're hot shit. And, 103 does what I ask it to do. So, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind having a little bit more power. And like I said, the suspension. So,
well, lucky for you, and I'm about to do a shameless plug here. Suspension Technologies is going to have some suspension out for our bike. And from the owner, he said Daytona Spring Rally. If I called him up, he could have a set there to put on when I was at the rally.
wow.
So check out Suspension Technologies
Okay.
before you get dead set on anything.
Got it.
I know a guy that has the owner's personal number I can put you in contact with.
I feel like, was Helen Wheels, did they use those? Is that
I was going to say.
Yeah, Hell's on Two Wheels uses them too.
Okay.
I thought that was what they talked to us about.
Yeah, it's a good company. They a lot of their stuff's built towards the actual racing. So
yeah.
If it handles racing, it's gonna handle whatever you want to put it through.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you answered with power and suspension. I kind of want to know what Meg's got up her sleeve.
Well, I just usually for Christmas, he doesn't like spend a lot of money on his own bike. I mean, he will do big things like he's got a full exhaust and pipes and stuff and bars but he hasn't done anything big in a while. No. But I try to do something like small that he'll like mention that something looks good on somebody's bike or he wants to do that, and buy him like a bike, something for his bike for Christmas, just because he doesn't buy himself that kind of stuff. And also I know more than other folks in his life, I know motorcycles and his motorcycle and what it is that he has to do. So I'm just saying that I may surprise him, even if
well, if you need ideas, who you can hit up. So, but here's a serious note for you, cameraman. What tires do you use? Because I need to replace my Dunlops because the back tire's got a nice little bald spot in the center.
Yeah. I mean, I've had pretty much every tire you can have on a motorcycle on the back.
He goes through tires for a year.
It depends on what ride you're doing. My favorite tire to run are those was it the Cruise Techs?
The Metzlers.
The Metzlers, man. I mean,
that's the ones I was looking at. I was wondering what your opinion was on them.
He
burns them up in about 3 weeks, but he loves them.
Right? I mean, they're like a hot knife going through butter. I mean, it gives you so much traction that it's almost scary, to be honest with you. I think, like she said, I did 2 or 3 mountains, and the tire was done.
I mean, they're soft, so.
But I ran the piss off it, right? Like, I had a sea bag on the back of the bike, with weight, and then throwing her on the back of it, and ripping up the mountains. It was hard. It was difficult to ride that motorcycle without. I could knee drag on that, and I can usually scrape my pegs, but at the same time, with those tires on there, it will give you a lot of confidence if you don't have confidence in the corners.
I pretty much lean my bike completely different from everybody else's because I keep my body upright and sling the bike under me.
Yeah.
and I still take the corners, at speed or higher and not drag a peg. If I lean with the bike, then I drag my pegs.
Right.
Kind of weird, but
Do you drag your primary?
I have not drugged that yet. You're the only one I've seen do that.
So
His primary is I'm gonna have to buy a new primary next year for him because it is rubbed so far. He has scraped it so bad that it's down to like pink, and it's about to just like burst.
Yeah.
I got one or two more touches on the left side, and that's it. So, but when I replaced my my foot pegs with what did we get, cross threads or well, I can't remember the name of it. But when I replaced with those, it kind of helped me not hit the primary, because I guess because they're wider. So I basically was hitting the ground quicker with those foot pegs, which, when I would hit the ground with that, it's not a problem. It's when I bend the pegs up that I was having the issue where, I had once or twice where it was the point that the bike, jumped up and.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I haven't pushed mine that far yet.
Well, with those tires, you will.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So,
because I do rip off the lights, so I know whatever tire I get, I need to be sticky, and I kind of want it to last for a little while.
That's the only problem is they don't last that long.
They're soft, so last.
Well, and you're in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
So you're out there on the mountains, so you're gonna rip the shit out of them. So
yeah.
Worth it to get them at least once, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then maybe if you have the ability to, only put those tires on when it's playtime, and then, have like the cruise, because I think right now I have the cruise techs on there.
Do you have Dunlops now?
No, it was whatever they had available. They didn't have
Michelin, maybe.
That's the problem, is that it's so hard to get the whatever time.
I mean, he goes through tires. I'm not kidding, like for a year, and at our mechanic, I bought like 3 of them at once because they had a tire shortage.
Wow.
I was like, we're not going to be in this place where he can't ride. So he was like, there's 4 left in the country, and I said, buy all of them. And so he bought them, and then they sat in our mechanic shop, and he put a sticky note on it, like, for Mike, do not touch. Meg will be angry.
So sounds like y'all need to get a sponsorship with bulk discounts on tires.
It would be nice, really.
Yeah, because the Metzlers, I was looking at them, and the front one is on back order. So I got to get those. I'm getting the 3-inch 4 control extensions because I'm 6'5" and I got that step up seat. It lifted me up. I felt the lift up, but I don't feel the push forward as much.
Okay.
But I know it's there.
Yeah. I definitely felt the push forward. But like I said, I'm barely 6 foot. So
yeah, so I'm gonna get those extensions because I needed them anyway. So I'm gonna get that done. I'm gonna get the CVO gauge put in it.
Okay.
The ones off the CVO Pro Street.
Yeah.
And cruise control.
Man, that would be so nice to have, wouldn't it?
I have actually. We were at Bike Week, and they're not, an electronic cruise control, but like
throttle lock,
like a throttle lock type of thing. And I know that he would love that. So I've thought about, but let us know how the cruise control goes, because I know he'd really like that.
I can tell you now, it's like $266. It's on back order, won't ship till April. And
I can do that. Send me that link.
It's at it's on harley.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now I don't know how your bars are wired, if there's extensions or if they cut them and wired them out, or how they did that. So,
his bars have, we had this issue because when we were in Daytona and his clutch broke, because we couldn't get a standard clutch cable because he needed all of his cables are extended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be an issue.
I will tell you this, if you decided to do it yourself, sometimes from the factory, they left the cruise control on in the programming.
Interesting.
So it may or may not have to go to Harley to get flashed. I did learn that. Because that one's on my mind. I want it before I go to Daytona this year.
Yeah.
Right.
So Meg, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask that question to you. What are you doing to your bike?
Hopefully
I-
washing it.
So I really don't have anything that I am dead set on doing. I probably get more excited to like think of things to do for Mike's bike because he gets so excited about like a performance upgrade more than I do. But I right now I have slip-ons, and Chromeworks very generously worked with us to do that for me. Wouldn't mind doing a full exhaust.
That way you can get a fuel tuner.
Yeah, he loves his fuel tuner, and so I think that would be one of the first things I would do. Although I would like suspension and a suspension upgrade too. I mean, mainly, he likes to ride my bike sometimes and, mess around with it. And if he's going to do things like pull wheelies and stuff, I'd rather him do it on my bike than on his bike.
It's a little
Yeah.
I mean, my bike is not necessarily built for stunning, but certainly more than the Breakout, and it's not great. So I think it would be nice to have suspension on my bike.
Yeah.
But I'm not like planning on those. I guess the thing is I always ask myself this, like, and some people don't know this, but all the money from the channel goes back into the channel, or 9% of it. Now, some of it is like, do we like eat when we're on the road and we use some of that money? Yes, or gas and all that kind of stuff.
That's enabling the channel.
Right.
Yeah.
And people also, I think, have a misconception that we like make big bucks off of YouTube.
Yeah, we're not rich as shit.
And we don't. And just because I'm a lawyer doesn't mean that we're rich. My student loans are like a second mortgage payment. So
yeah.
It's not like that. But I guess for me, I'm always like, would I rather spend $1,500 on a suspension upgrade, or would I rather us get to go to Sturgis or Laconia or one of those cool places? And like, I always pick riding. I always pick going somewhere and riding, because for me, like, those experiences and those memories are invaluable. And
yeah.
I'm the kind of person, I saw a reel. I think I posted this on my story on Instagram. And it was like, is your money do you keep your money in the bank, or do you keep your money at home? And it said, I keep it in my memories. I really can relate to that, because I feel like for me, I always make that choice. Not that I don't want my bike to, have performance upgrades. I do. And in a perfect world, and when those opportunities present themselves, I will do that. But for me, it's like, I would rather have the experience of having ridden to Laconia and been there and checked that out and ridden the Kangamangas Highway and done all this cool stuff. And so, for me, it's always hard for me to do expensive upgrades. Like small maintenance and small stuff I will do. And I think both of us have been talking. I actually love the grips that Mike's had on his bike, but they're getting old. And I still have the stock grips on mine, and
black stuff on your hands and stuff.
yeah. And
I kind of feel you. Mine's starting to do that now.
Yeah.
But I did notice there's quitting making round pegs and making them more like partial floorboard, you know what I mean? And I don't like those, so I got to go with a aftermarket for mine on that.
So, I mean, that might be something minor that I do this year for both of us is grips. So yeah, I mean, nothing major. If money was no object, then I would do a full exhaust with pipes, and then the fuel tuner, and then I would do suspension.
I mean, your Chromeworks, like the slip-ons.
Yeah, they still have a nice sound.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll send you some information if you ever do toy with the idea of suspension. I'll put you in contact with somebody that would be right up your alley to give you her full opinion on it.
Okay. Awesome.
So you've been riding now for what, 3 years, 4
Yep.
years?
Yep, just 3 years.
And I know a lot of people can watch videos, but they don't really pay attention like they should, because you can hold a track. Cameraman's buzzing by you left and right in all your videos.
Mhm.
As a new rider, how long did it take for you to get comfortable with him coming by you?
I don't
We
really.
started from day one.
Yeah.
I never let her ride without me right next to her. That way, she never got in that mindset.
So you
I'm-
would say to a new rider, started at day one?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the situation,
Yeah.
but I am more comfortable, truly more comfortable riding next to Mike than I am riding by myself. But you know, my bike has 40 coming, it's got like 39.5, almost 40,000 miles on it, and my Sporty had 3,000, and probably all but 2,000 of those have been next to Mike.
I'd say once a rider is able to ride the motorcycle, use its functionalities correctly, and when their heart's not pounding, right?
Yeah.
With her, I started where I would just get directly behind her. And, I didn't really teach her to use the whole lane when she first started riding. I taught her one lane. And that way, when I was behind her, I could, if she was getting too far to the left, I would get in her way to force her back across. And the same thing versa. Also, no offense, but when she was going like 10 miles, she was brand new, right? Going 10 miles an hour under the speed limit, I was able to not say move it, I was able to gradually push her where she wasn't even noticing the fact that she was increasing her speed.
Now, you did the MSF course also, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you learn more from cameraman or the MSF course?
I mean,
because I have mixed feelings on it. That's why I ask.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the course teaches you how to be a real rider. I think it teaches you some like base level skills, and I like the basics of slow maneuvers and stuff like that. But no, like riding on the road is totally different than riding in a parking lot, right? And you have to account for other cars and stoplights and road conditions and acceleration.
Situational decision making, right? Like that's the big one.
And so 100 times I've learned more from Mike than that course. Like that's a 3-day snippet. I've ridden, 40,000 miles next to Mike. So, and he's the best rider I know. And I'm not just saying that, like other people think that too. So I feel like I'm fortunate that he taught me and that I got to watch him. And actually something that I've told a lot of people, including like Lauren. So my best friend just started riding this summer. She got her license and bought her bike. And she actually rode with Mike a couple of times, like when we were picking up her bike and she like when she had some minor stuff done to it, and we had to drop it off and stuff like that. She actually rode with Mike, and I told her like how much I learned from riding with him, actually on the bike and watching when he shifts, how he steers, like what he, that kind of thing. And like, so her husband hasn't been riding a long time either. So, he wasn't really in a place to be teaching her in the way that Mike can teach me how to ride. And I told her, when you're on the bike with Mike, watch what he does, because that really helped me. Like riding 2 up with him helped me
big time.
Right.
Yeah, because I do most of my riding solo. So when I get in a group, I kind of like in Daytona, I kind of got, told, hey, you get your ass right up here. I want you out the corner of my eye, and being a solo rider, probably 99.9% of the time, you're like, I feel like I'm close enough, Yeah. So I can watch your videos and appreciate the skill level that you've jumped to, because I've seen some that have not progressed.
Yeah.
And some like you and Miss Hellbelly is just like shot off the map.
Well, I will also say this, like it's a core value for me to want to learn and always be better. Like that's
She
the
never
person
stops.
that I am in everything. I want to be the best, you know, I've always wanted that. I wanted to be the best athlete when I was a gymnast or a field hockey player, or I wanted to be the best student, and I want to be the best attorney and mom and writer. And so for me, I always want to be better. I want to learn more. I want to be better in every way that I can be better. And I think that that helps in things like for instance, Jerry invited us down there to train with him twice. And I, we kind of dropped everything and went to Florida. And like, to be honest, like we just bought the trailer like a week and a half before the first time we went. It was snow on the ground when we left. We didn't have heated gear or anything. And, to Mike's credit, because he had like no practice doing this, just loaded the bikes up and we rode down to Daytona to train with Jerry. And
manifesting stuff, right?
Yeah. A lot of people. So Jerry has told me how many moto vloggers he's reached out to try to have them come train with him, and they won't do it. I mean, a lot of the big ones that have been riding for, that they've been riding for 20 years because they've had a YouTube channel for 15, right? So like a lot of them, he's like, I have invited them to come and ride with me and they won't do it. And so to me, that's just so mind boggling, because it's like, humble yourself enough to realize that this person is giving you a really good opportunity. And even if you think you're better than that, who cares? Go and take what you can from that experience. Right?
You learn a lot from him. Like when he was like even just the techniques, I didn't know that I already did these techniques, right?
Yeah.
But having those techniques explained like really helped, and that's when number one place people drop their motorcycle is in a parking lot,
Yeah, I haven't never done that. I mean, I can U-turn. I ain't gonna say figure eight. I mean, I can U-turn in two spots. So I mean, with the breakout, how the breakout is. There's a lot wider turning angle. So and the lean angle sucks.
So actually, when we got there, it was funny because Jerry and Donna were like, people cannot do this course on the breakout. They were like, the only person we've ever seen successfully do the course on the breakout is our son. And then Jerry and Donna were just training me. Mike was just
I wasn't
taping.
In the class.
He wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had no doubt in my mind. I was like, Mike can do it.
She put me on the spot.
And I was like, he can do it. And they were like, okay, get on and do it. And he had no practice and just got on and did the whole course and perfectly, didn't knock down any cones, nothing. But they specifically made a point of saying, well, we don't think he can do it because the breakout isn't built for that.
Well, I was about to bring that up too, because y'all took the auto train down on one of those, correct? And went and did it. And Meg goes and does it on her bike and then gets on that big old bagger and whips it around like it's a tricycle.
Yeah. It's insane, right?
I got to give you mad props for that, because I've test rode one and I was kind of iffy trying to do some of the stuff on it because just the weight difference that I'm used to.
So, that bagger has got nothing on an enduro bike.
Because she can't reach the ground.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I would that bagger, the weight of the bagger, I still feel okay because I can still touch the ground. And so that is the main thing for me. Once I'm moving, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter how heavy that bike is. And
as long as you're using the friction zone, right?
Right. And as far as like Jerry told me, one thing that Jerry told me that was great, he was like, I don't care if you drop this bike. I have, drop guards because this is a teaching bike. So at that point, for me, I'm not scared for myself. Like, I'm not going more than 20 miles an hour. Like, I've fallen off a pedal bike at 15 miles an hour. Like, like, I'm not scared about me getting hurt. I am scared about hurting the bike, right? And so when he sort of took that away and was like, nope, just do the techniques, I was like, okay, you don't care if I drop the bike, great. And actually, it really is not harder. And actually, I think Jerry's even told me that the what is it, Michael? What am I thinking of? The how far you can turn the
radius.
Bars. Yeah, that is like better on a
It
touring
is.
bike than it is even on
Even
my
on
bike.
your low rider, right?
So
it's actually easier on those bikes, but they're more intimidating.
yeah, you know, feeling the weight is different. But I'll tell you this, that's nothing on the Pan Am or when we were just in Costa Rica and I rode that Yamaha. Michael was about to kill me like 5 times.
I was on my 50. Sometimes she gets to the point where she just forgets everything she learned, right? But to her credit, we were on a mountain.
That video looked like there's a lot of sketchiness going on there.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing
that was
yet.
not even anything. That was just
just hold that thought. It's coming up a little bit here later in the interview. We're gonna jump on the Costa Rica trip. Trust me. So I gotta give you mad props for that because there's so many people that they get in the frame of mind where, okay, you ride at this speed, you don't push yourself. If you don't push yourself, you don't learn.
You're never going to get in any way. If you don't put yourself in your career, if you don't push yourself, you know, to be a friend, anything, to do go the extra mile, then you're never going to grow.
Well, you get bored, right? I mean, part of the riding a motorcycle is the adrenaline that you get, right? It is, you know, new experiences that you're going for every day. It's just like, you know, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but if I eat them every day, it's not going to be any good, right? So if I get on the highway and do 5 over the speed limit, and that's that, you know.
Mike told me I love variety.
I knew that was coming when I seen that comment pop up.
Well,
yeah, so I went down to Daytona. Pop that back up again, Beatrice, please.
Crystal can ride better than Tweedle do.
Nice.
You remember who Crystal is, correct?
Yeah,
Miss Hellbelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has the same bike you do, and
we talked about it.
Gosh, she's like fearless. I mean, she will get up and rip on a light. And it's like you got to be ahead of her if you're going to try to pull one over on her. But I love riding with her. It's so much fun riding with her because she's just so much fun to ride with.
Yeah.
Hell's on 2 wheels though. Whew, good Lord. Cameraman, you'd probably love riding with him. I'm sitting there like focused on it and trying to stay in my track at speeds that he's wanting to go and stay where he wants me to. And I just can't feel comfortable enough in that spot yet. I don't know.
I tell people all the time, you got to ride your own ride, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, like with me, I can ride with anybody because if there's some people like, hey, like, don't pass me, like, stay right here. Okay, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
And there's other people, they're like, hey, look, there are no rules. Just go, you know?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I asked him, I told him I wanted to learn that style of riding because I don't get to do a lot of that here in East Tennessee. A lot of mountains, a lot of turns, and pretty much everybody I ride with pretty much does a speed limit, you know?
Yeah.
So
fine, ride their own ride, right?
Exactly. And that includes safety gear. I throw that in that same statement. I don't preach safety gear on nobody. You ride what you want to ride, wear what you want to wear. Yeah. So you didn't have too much fun on the auto train?
No, we hated it. I hated it worse than I hated it, but I hated it too. It was like slightly more comfortable and a little bit more spacious airplane, but it was like so long. And
they said it was going to be 17 hours. It was like 4 days.
They said it was going to be 4 It was going to be 14 hours and it was 18
hours.
I
could drive there in 12 and a half hours, right?
So Mike likes to drive, actually.
I love driving.
He has, like, even in a car, he'd prefer to ride, but he likes driving. And so, and I don't mind driving either, actually. I think for both of us, for him, he likes to be in control and he doesn't like when somebody's in control and that really bothers him. And me too, to an extent, but like, I trust him to be in control, but like strangers, that's something
great on a motorcycle, guys, but don't ever get a crazy idea about getting in a car with her. Right?
So he doesn't let me drive. You're going to
come to me and pay me $5 for admission because it feels like a ride, all right? King's Dominion or something.
If I do recall, didn't somebody park their car in a swimming pool?
I drove it into the pool that did. and Mike made me a cake and brought it into school for my birthday because I was 15 when I did that.
Yeah, she didn't have her license.
And so he brought me that was a little toy car crashed into the side of it, like decorated. It was a pool that said "Happy Birthday, Meg," and he brought it into the lunchroom for my 16th birthday. Because imagine that everyone in our high school thought that this was like,
oh, the whole town knew about
everybody
it.
knew.
Everyone knew.
See, you can tell I've been watching for a while because I knew that. So you also went to, did you go to Sturgis before OC or OC before Sturgis?
Sturgis first, and then we went.
Okay. Tell me about Sturgis.
Sturgis was.
I haven't been, so I want to know why I should go.
It was amazing. I mean, I'll say this. People would say things like, "Oh, it's like a motorcycle paradise," and like I got married in Sturgis, and I'm sitting here thinking of Daytona, and I'm like, I don't know. Like the vibe is a little too trashy for me to want to get married there. So say that I was kind of like, but then I went to Sturgis, and I get it. I get it because the riding is like, with the exception of this one ride that we did in Costa Rica, it's probably the coolest riding.
I mean, there are things there that it doesn't look natural, right? Like you look like a different part of the world, right? Like a different planet even.
Truly. I get it. I think it's cool. That's what I'm saying. I get why. Hell on Two Wheels, my point was that before we went there, I didn't understand it. But once we went there, I got it. Because not only is I got why people get married there. Because not only is the riding awesome, but also, like, it's a biker town, and there's like a lot more respect for bikers, and just like the whole vibe.
How spread out everything was. So like when you go to like any other bike week, everything's just like on top of each other. Where here you're going to go for a 45-minute ride to get to something else, right?
Yeah.
And, and of course it's crowded with nothing but bikers, but there's so much space that it makes it I loved it. I wasn't a believer in it until we went, and I was like, damn, we should go every year.
Yeah, I mean, it was so awesome. Like, I really loved the Badlands. Mike really liked Spearfish Canyon. Both of us really loved Needles Highway. Like, that stuff was so cool. Just like the riding itself was awesome because we really like mountains and twisties and stuff like that. Yeah. The scenery was awesome. The whole vibe of Sturgis was awesome.
All of it.
Yeah. So like, and then we went to Wyoming, which was really
cool.
There's
only like 2 roads in Wyoming that are paved. Everything else is dirt.
And y'all found the dirt roads, didn't you?
Only Michael likes to ride his breakout on off-road, like it's a dirt bike.
So Sturgis was awesome and is a must-go-to event.
Must go to.
According to y'all. So what about OC?
I mean, Ocean City's our hometown bike week for us. So like, it's cool and it's fun because we get a ton of people. It's always the craziest in terms of like the meet and greet because a lot of people come to see us because it's local and they know us. Mm-hmm. But I'll say this. Mike and I grew up going to Ocean City. We went to Ocean City when we were teenagers. Actually, I don't know the first time that we went together, but I do recall that we tried to go crabbing because blue crabs are like the Maryland's thing, right? And we tried to go crabbing and we caught like, we were probably 15 years old, young.
Don't incriminate yourself.
We caught like these little ass crabs. We tried to steam these like little ass tiny crabs. I think they have to be 6 inches in Maryland to eat them, but we were just kids and we were like, we're gonna do it. But then we went to like senior week there every year. It's just the destination itself is not like novel for us because we've been going there as a vacation spot for our entire life. So and there's not like mountain riding. Like the strip is cool. It's definitely cool to see all those bikes and stuff. And actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that the OC strip is kind of cooler than the Daytona strip, to be honest. But it's not like,
I'd agree to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, it's like cool to see. But for us, you know, some people might be like, it's super cool, we're in OC, and Mike and I are like, yeah, we've been coming here our entire life.
But as far as like bike week stuff goes, I mean, lots of vendors, right?
Yeah, they have good vendors.
And just the riding, like even so we did Laconia, right?
Yeah, Laconia was awesome.
About to ask about that too.
So you got Sturgis, and then behind Sturgis, I loved Laconia
Mm-hmm.
because of the riding up there. Like I like I said, I can leave here right now and go get hammered and get drunk right now, like 5 days a week, right? But when I'm out there at these events, I really love the experience of riding as much as I possibly can. And there's other people who want to go out and just stay in camp and get banged up, which is I'm not against it.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
And like you said, like Mike said, ride is in ride your own ride. And
Mm-hmm.
we're like, if going to a bike week it for you is to socialize and drink and party
Have
it
a
up,
good time. That's
then
perfect.
by all means do that.
Yep.
But for us, we're like, we can drink at our house. Like, why? You know, for us, it's like, go.
I'm here.
Ride.
I want to rip it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, I kind of have the same thing. When I'm out riding, I don't even touch alcohol. So I'd rather be on the bike and have the adrenaline rush than you know getting drunk. That's just me. So
drinking too, but like when I'm at events, I really don't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So with all those said, rank your rallies. Which one you would go to in order? Like if you had the opportunity to go to, you know, X amount, what would be the first? What would be the last?
I mean, what he said just now was right. Sturgis and then Laconia.
Laconia was fun.
And then I guess, so we've been to Sturgis, Laconia, Daytona, Gettysburg, and Ocean City, and Myrtle Beach. So I would say Sturgis, Laconia, I don't know. Ocean City or Myrtle Beach, I don't know.
I would say Myrtle Beach over Ocean City just because it's more of a journey for us.
Yeah. What about Gettysburg?
I put Gettysburg in front of Daytona.
Yeah, because at least we can. I agree.
Because you can ride. There's I mean, we're blinded by the roads that we have around us here, but people come here and man, they're blown away at the roads that we get to ride every day. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's, you know, it's much, right? But it's really nice roads that we just, like I said, we get used to them.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I went to Myrtle Beach this year and it was fun. Didn't do a whole lot of riding, more riding to stops.
Right. There's not places to ride, right?
And
yeah. Daytona, on the other hand, we did a lot of riding.
Okay.
And I did enjoy it. I mean, even though there was some turns in it and it was
there's like 2 turns in Florida.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was flat and there was a couple turns. You know, I still enjoyed it though, because it's different than what I'm riding every day. Yeah. Gives me a break from the hard turns and hills and mountains and all that I use. So I kind of enjoyed that for that reason.
Yeah.
But Sturgis is on my bucket list to do.
You got to do it at least once. I was so upset that I didn't do it earlier.
This person wants to know if we've been to upstate New York, and yes, we have videos where we went to visit Moto Blonde and we rode Catskills Mountains,
which was awesome. Nice.
That was beautiful. We actually, like, neither of us knew that there were such good motorcycle roads in upstate New York.
We were just talking about if we were going to make it back up there.
Yeah.
So
here's another one for you. Are you planning on doing Babes Ride Out, Camp Out?
Probably not, because I mean, maybe Lauren and I would go, but my trips are like limited because of work and just because of, like, you know, this year we probably were gone for 5 weeks of the year at least. Mm-hmm. And that's like, that's hard for, you know, both me to leave the firm and Mike and I to leave the car wash and, you know, all of that stuff and kids and all of that. So, if I'm going to go on trips, I usually like want us to be able to go together and make it a channel event and do things for the channel and tape it and make videos and, you know, be able to dual purpose what I'm doing. So, you know, I guess there's a chance I could go with Lauren, but if I'm going to go, I'd rather Mike and I be able to go places for the channel.
Yeah. Well, speaking of going places, now it's time. I'm so glad you put this video out because I really wanted to talk about your Costa Rica. So I'm gonna pull something up. Hopefully, I don't screw everything up here. Let me make sure I can do this right.
Somebody also asked a question that we missed, so I apologize.
Oh, what question was that? We'll hit it before I go any further.
It was in the beginning. It was earlier on. Something about if Mike has to fight people off or something. And the answer to that is that usually not, because we don't put ourselves in those kind of situations for the most part. We don't. It's another reason that we don't really go to rallies to party is that, you know,
We're not dumb either.
Yeah. And so usually I make it clear that I am not interested in that. And then there's been the occasional time that Mike's had to tell somebody to back off, but usually it's more, I wouldn't say that they like want to like be near me in that way. I would say that usually it's like somebody who's like a really big fan and they just really want to talk to me about And then like Mike's kind of just like, he's not being a jerk, but he's just kind of like, hey, there's like 30 people that are waiting here to like talk to her and like, you know, whatever.
So I'll be nice and I'll take over the conversation and start talking to that person for a while. He can go and do, you know, talk to somebody else. But it comes with it. It's really not that bad.
We usually just don't. I try not to put myself. I think it was something about, is it hard to be a girl rider, and does Mike have to fight people off? And I guess I took that to mean just like at bike events, but on the road, Mike has had people that like tail me really bad and stuff like that. Like he'll be nice at first, but eventually he's gonna go fuck with them.
Yeah, whenever somebody tells me, my shirt usually blows up and exposes my Freedom Seed dispenser, and I hear brakes locking up, so I don't have to worry about that. I do want, before we get on to Costa Rica, 701 Traveler says, if you like the South Dakota Badlands, then suggest Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota.
Okay. So we'll definitely consider that on our cross-country trip this year.
Okay, now let me get over here, because you really teased us with this video.
I you know, I have to do a little bit of it.
Do what?
A little bit of teasing people so they come back for more.
All right, here we go.
That's when I already went down the hill, huh?
Yeah, so
starting from the beginning.
Yeah, so I he said, I'm here to tell you it doesn't get any easier. And then he said, Meg, you all right?
Well, at this point, when I watch this video, I'm like, dang, this road's like kicking their butt. But looking at the angle, it's like, nah, that really ain't that bad.
Oh, in person, it was real bad. The camera is not doing that justice.
So basically, I'm in first gear.
Oh, well, here's where I realized, oh, good Lord.
It's all good.
I'm sorry. I got ads on my crap.
That was actually probably our ad.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's really steep. It doesn't look steep, but it is steep. Really freaking steep.
Yeah, because I'm noticing here his back end's starting to come around his front.
He's slipping. It was so steep and so muddy. We both thought we would die. I'm not exaggerating.
So
we literally both thought we would die on that mountain.
At one point, I actually pull the front brake so that I can slide my rear end, you know, next to me, so I could ride it like a snowboard down the mountain. I can't stop. I mean,
it was literally, when we got off the bike, almost at points a foot deep of mud.
Wow.
And come to find, you know, we weren't supposed to be going down that path. It was an accident.
So they put me on a 2-stroke in the mud with a basically flat tire.
Yeah, the bike was lowered for her. They let all the air out of the tire.
They had never had a woman on that tour.
Never.
And I mean, here's the thing about my dumbass is that I have not had a ton of dirt experience. This was even when we went to California, but I'll get in my head this thing that I'll be like, Oh, Mike would love to do that. So like last year when we went to California in March, we were supposed to go last December. So like I had talked to somebody online and this guy was like, I could hook you guys up with like a discounted tour, this and that. He was like, I do tours in Arkansas. And I was like, well, like our year's kind of booked up because I think this was like July or August. And I was like, I don't know that we're going to make it out there. And I was like, but I would love to do something for Mike's birthday in December. And he was like, yeah, it's too cold. But like, here's my buddy that has like a thing out in California. So then I was like, all right, cool. You know, we'll do it for Mike's birthday. And then we got COVID and we had to push it to March. Yep. But I'll do this thing in my head where I'm like, I'll be, you know what? I'm fine. Like, I got this. Like, I can ride a bike. Like, and like, he's ridden dirt his whole life. Like, when we were kids, he rode dirt with his friends all over the place. Anything on with two wheels, Mike will push that. He will become one with it and push that machine to its maximum potential. And I know that. So I'm like, you know, I got this. So when we went to California, I told him, I'm like, listen, because he was asking about, like, he's like, sometimes I have an advanced group and a more intermediate group. And I'm like, yeah, well, Mike will be, I said, give him 1 hour on this bike and he will be with the best of the best. Like, he'll tear it up. And he's like, does he have a dirt bike? And I'm like, no, not currently. He did have dirt bikes, but currently we don't have a dirt bike. And I think that he was a little skeptical of that. And so, but then when we got out there, when we left, he literally told Mike, like, I think that you're a little crazy. He was like, for somebody that doesn't ride all the time, like the fact that you were doing those things, that you're a little unhinged. But like, I had no dirt experience. I dropped the bike in California like 15 or 20 times, probably. I mean, I had some dirt experience, very limited, but I learned a lot. I did hill climbs. Like, I went for it. It was fine. I'm glad that I did that before we went here.
Oh, yeah.
Because this was the craziest thing I've ever done.
I don't ever look at a situation, hardly ever. And I'm like, you know what? This is too dangerous. I just don't say it like it's not a thought in my head. Every turn we got to was like, Mike, like, think about it. You got kids. Like, is this something you really should be doing? And to the point where one time I had my leg on the side of a mountain, my leg, while I'm riding, because you only got this much space and down to this side is literally a cliff and you're on mud and it's just like, damn, like I'm going to die, you know, but got to the point where I was just like, you know what, just drop the clutch and go. And, you know, I made it.
Well, Hell's on Two Wheels says me and cameraman needs to do a dudes ride out event. LOL, raise hell, make bail.
Okay.
Call Megs afterwards.
It's always in my back pocket, you know. As long as you're in the state of Maryland.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me ask my lawyer. Actually, funny story. I once represented him in something, and he told the judge that it took him a really long time to find a lawyer. And
you want to know what took me so long?
Yeah, why didn't you respond to this? Because he didn't tell me that this was going. Well, he didn't pick up his phone for these people, and so then I had to go to this hearing and represent him, and then he's standing there next to me, being like, "Yeah, you know, she's really expensive, and it took me a long time to find the right lawyer. I had to ask around." And I'm like kicking him under the table that we're like
telling me to shut up.
Having this. The judge is like, I'm so sorry, sir, that you had to go through all that trouble. I'm going to award you attorney's fees. Gives him $900 for representing him.
Oh, look, 2 Up Journey Junkies is in.
Nice. Hello.
So, what's on the future plans for Meg and Cameraman?
Well, the biggest thing is that we want to go cross country, and we're trying to work on whether we can borrow a touring bike, at least one for that, or if we're going to take our Softails. But either way, we're going to do it.
We might do some snow riding, maybe.
Yes. So there's a gentleman,
Montana, maybe,
that reached out to me on Instagram last year when I said that we wanted to go snowmobiling. And he said, we have snowmobiles and we have snow bikes. And
have you ever seen a snow bike?
Nah. Well, isn't that what they run across the ponds with? It's got like the one ski on the back.
The tank tread, the triangle on the back.
Oh no, I ain't seen that.
It's like the front is like a, what is that thing? Like a,
It's like tank tread. I don't know.
It looks like a ski almost, right? On the front.
Like yeah, I've seen the ones with the skis, but I thought they had regular tires on them or like paddle tires.
He's on the front, but on the back, it's almost like a triangle, with tank tread on it. So it looks like it's got 3, you know.
Oh yeah, the tank on the back. It like rolls like the tank wheels roll, but then the front is like a ski, like a flat portion.
On a motorcycle.
Yes. Like the body of a motorcycle.
So are we going to see cameraman flying across a lake anytime soon?
I'd give it a shot.
I know you would.
So keep watching the Costa Rica series because we like that was only the first brush with death that we had when we were there, the dirt. But
Lord.
When we were on the enduros, which was actually a lot harder for me because I couldn't touch it all, and a pain in the ass for Mike because I had to be like on totally flat ground. I had to I could not reach the kickstand. My leg could not reach the bike.
I had to kick the kickstand.
So he had to come take the kickstand up and down for me for 5 days that we rode on this enduro tour. So like I could not stop the bike because I was so short. My leg would not physically reach the kickstand to put it down. So like Mike had to stop his bike, put the bike down, and then
not to mention I pulled my hamstring on like the last 10 minutes of the dirt bike tour.
Yeah.
I threw my leg down to reach the ground and there was no ground, right? So I just threw my leg out. And then so, like I said, I was on my tippy toes on those bikes, right? Like I said, I'm barely 6 foot. So getting my leg up over that seat was not easy.
He had to do it every time that I parked the bike. He had to park his bike and then come over and put the kickstand down so that I could get off the bike. And like literally he at times, he had to get on and move it because or just take it from me and move it every time because it was so tall that there was no way that I could do it. Yeah. So that was insane. But anyway, my point when you said, are we going to see him skidding across the river, is that one thing that he wanted to do before we went. So I researched these trips like inside and out. And I researched because we stay in Airbnbs. So I researched our route and where we're going to stay because even for bike weeks, Laconia, stuff like that. It's we stay 1 or 2 nights in every location, right along the way.
We covered 70% of Costa Rica.
A lot of Costa Rica. So I plan these trips out where I'll work with the guide or in the United States, I just do it myself. Get a map, get Airbnbs at all these points and plan we can do this on this day and this on this day. And Mike will just be whatever you want, whatever.
Show up and
whatever. I don't know that either of us envision that, but anyway, what he does before the trip is he'll watch YouTube videos of other people that have done the things that we do, right? And he gets excited about it. So he was watching all these enduro and off-road videos, and all these people did river crossings, and he didn't get to do one. He did on the dirt bike, but he didn't think he was going to get to take the enduro over a river. And then our second to last day riding, we were supposed to go to this one route and stay at this one beach, and they closed this bridge. And so we couldn't. And it was to get to that beach would have been a 6-hour up detour, and over a detour. So we decided to go to a different beach. And the only way in from the direction we were coming was this thing called, is it the Gorilla Trail or the Congo Trail? Yeah. Monkey Trail?
Either way,
it was not paved. It was mud, and he had to ride the enduro bike. I didn't trust myself. Only
I've never done that before. On a dirt bike, it's one thing, but
yeah.
It wasn't that bad,
He had to ride both bikes over 2 different river crossings and one of them actually there was a truck stuck in the river. and a different truck trying to pull it out while he was riding the enduro bikes through the river. Because so the one tour guide who was so awesome, the tour guides were so awesome. If you guys want to do it, definitely reach out to that company. They were amazing. But Juan Carlos, who was one of the tour guides, had said, like, he scared me a little because he was like, you cannot let off the throttle or flood the engine, like when you're going through.
It was that high.
And so I just got nervous and I was just like, no, I'm gonna let him do it. So I just took off my boots and my socks and got my pants wet and walked across the river. And it was a little helpful because at least he could tell how high it came up on my legs before he rode the bikes over.
Well, I walked it too, just to make sure I wasn't going like 6 foot of water. And I found a path.
But that was pretty crazy. So he did, if you keep watching, I have a lot of footage of him riding over and through the river crossings on the like Congo Monkey Trail.
So you got that coming out what day next week?
I'm going to try to stick to Thursdays, I think.
Thursdays.
Next Thursday, we'll put it out. But the following Thursday, right before Christmas, we're going to take a break in the Costa Rica special because I have part 2 of the dirt bike day. Humorous. Mike has about enough in part 2 and he starts talking to the camera.
I was done.
And then we've got like I haven't decided if it's 2 or 3 other videos. We have enough footage for 3 probably. Really cool. We have some 360 footage because we took it Insta 360 there, plus a regular GoPro.
You got kicked off a beach.
We did. Mike rode. He rode Duro with me on the back on the beach. Didn't even deflate the tires. Just rode right the fuck onto the beach. Kind of crazy. So.
Hey, get off.
Why am I not surprised? I'm not surprised by that.
What are they gonna do? Chase me?
Yeah.
So anyway, those videos are going to be really cool, but I think we are going to take a break to do a Christmas video. So we actually have a guy that we work with that helps us out a lot with some, algorithm stuff. And he was like, who gets more stuff sent to them, you or Mike? And I was like, it's an interesting question because people would think me, but I don't think so. There's definitely a lot of people that want to like uniquely send Mike stuff. Like this guy Chad, who's a super nice guy, came to one of our group rides. He got Mike a Bigfoot like a Bic lighter, or no, what are those called? Those Zippos.
Zippo.
Like the like silver ones. And then like there's another gentleman who wanted to make him a bag, and I've got people that sent me Bigfoot books and like people sent books. Motorcycle books. People have sent me
action figures.
That's a breakout, right? The little time we got people sent us a little tiny
signs
breakout.
That's cool.
So he said his suggestion, our like consultant guy said we should do an episode opening things that people send us and see who gets more things, Meg or cameraman. So I should have put that out in this video. Dang it. I should have put something out saying if anyone wants to send us like not even like gifts, just like letters or anything like that. We're gonna have on our holiday special, Mike's gonna have the sack of presents and we're gonna see who has stuff.
I guess I'll just have to find something around here to send. So with that being said, you also have your calendar up for sale still, correct?
I do. Yep.
So let everybody know where they can purchase one of those at.
On Etsy. So if you go and just search Etsy Meg's Motorcycle Journey Calendar, you can find it in Google, but also I have the link in my Instagram profile. I have the link in a bunch of video. I actually need to add it to this video that just came out today, but it's in a bunch of the other videos. So I will link it in the description. But yeah, if you go to Etsy or my Instagram page.
Oh yeah, you know what? Before I terminate this, when I sent y'all that stuff, did I send y'all one of them
I don't know if we have one of your
I
stickers.
feel like I've seen that, but it could just
or
be.
one of those?
No, I didn't get one of
definitely
them.
not one of the. Definitely not a poker chip. But is that
Okay.
Yeah.
Look for it in the mail. I'm still waiting on your sticker, Meg. You better have one still for me.
I'm so bad about it. Like people ask me, and I'm happy to give them to them. I'm just so. It will be easier though.
The message disappeared. There we go. Read that.
Motorcycle.
You'll remember our conversation. That's all you got to do.
Okay. So I'll have to. I'm just so. I do better when we ship out calendars and people ask me to ship out other things because then we're already shipping stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at it, and it's not that I don't like people. I do love them. It's just like the time between running all of our companies and getting kids to all the places they need to go and all that stuff.
Ray wants to know, a lot of YouTubers exchange stickers. Have y'all ever done that?
I mean, we are happy to get stickers and we're happy to send stickers. I don't know that we've done a specific exchange. And if you ask me for a sticker and I didn't send it, I'm so sorry. Send me another Instagram message. I'll be better this month because we're sending out calendars, I promise.
DDK dropped the link for her calendar. If that's the case, she said go to her Instagram.
So yeah, it's on Instagram, but I can also send it to you.
He lives like 3 miles down the road from me. He's kind of elderly.
Okay.
So DDK, it's that little pink box with the little camera icon. Hit that and just type in Meg's Motorcycle Journey in the little search bar, and she'll pull right up. You got to walk them out somehow, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with him.
People too. Like if somebody needs me to send it or something, I'll definitely send the link. People can reach us on like our email address for the channel is just megsmotorcyclejourney@gmail.com. So if folks have questions or like they had trouble finding the link or whatever, they can write us a message there. Or I try to get to my Instagram messages. I get so many, but I try the best.
Yeah, I would say you probably get swamped a lot. So Here we go. Paste.
Thank you.
There's her link for her calendar,
this
DDK.
Year,
so now you don't have to go nowhere. You can do it straight from my chat.
There you go.
This year's really crazy because we tried to play with some special effects. Michael had to have torches and fire, and
it was a pyro.
It was intense.
I got a question. How many months have the breakout in it?
4 maybe 5.
Let's see.
Okay, so he'll only miss 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, at least 4 or 5.
The breakout, not the first year, but every year since the second year and this year, and probably every year going forward, the breakout will always be December's picture.
Yeah.
December's.
Mike's birthday.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all have heard this or not. There's a reason why there's asked for a Sportster S.
Yeah.
Moto Noggin, I don't know if y'all know who he is. He's up in New York. He does YouTube also. He's a big Sportster S guy, huge Sportster S guy. He said that Sportster S will outrun Hills on Two Wheels bagger.
So it is the only Harley model that I have not ridden. The only one.
It is.
I've ridden the new Nightster. I've ridden every single other bike that Harley makes. Well, not a trike, but everything on 2 wheels I have ridden at a demo day for Harley. I've test ridden or I've rented it or I've borrowed it or something. I've ridden every model except the Sportster S. I really want to.
I've heard they're quick.
Well, this race is taking place in Mexico in March. But if Hells wins, he gets to take the Sportster S to the Iron Horse and to the Burnout Pit. Ooh. And if Noggin wins, he gets to keep Hells on Two Wheels as saddlebags.
Oh.
And the winner, whoever the winner in gets 10 U daddies. Y'all know what a U daddy is?
I do not.
Okay, well, say me and you raced, and I would put my money on you. I think you can push your breakout further than I can. If I made that bet and I lost, and you said, "Who's got the better breakout?" Tweedledee, I have to say, "You, daddy."
Okay. Okay.
So there's 10 U daddies up for grabs, also that they have a year to be able to use.
Okay.
So it's going to be a fun event, and that'll eventually be put up. Beatrice, knock it off.
Motorcycles more than the guys in chat.
Yes, Meg is impressive. You can watch her videos, and you can tell her skill level is on up there, and I think it is underrated and overlooked.
Well, thank you.
And because you were a lot higher than what a lot of people think, and I would put my money on you.
I'll tell you, out of all my buddies that I ride with, maybe one of them is a little bit more skilled than Megan, and that's because he's 65 years old. He's been riding since he was 10.
Thank you.
I'm
gonna go with 2.
So,
Zach can outride me.
yeah, but he doesn't have a motorcycle, so he's kind of he doesn't count, right?
Yeah. If there's no bike, then it don't count.
Not have a motorcycle, but his skill level
He's
is
a very good
high.
rider too.
And so I would say Zach
you surpassed
some people.
Most of them.
So what I usually do, yes, that would be 2 ladies I would not want to line up with, because yeah, I'd probably get drugged. We've been on for an hour and 12. So what I usually do is let the guest have a final thought.
Okay.
And once we're done with the final thought, to stay on, I'm going to end the show, and we'll be in the backstage off camera.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to give you the final thought, so you can say whatever you'd like to say right now.
Thanks for having us. We had fun.
Anytime y'all want to come on, all you got to do is make the text, and you'll be booked.
Thank you.
I want to know who wins that race.
Yeah, he must put on that.
I can make that happen for you.
Nice.
So
thank you guys so much.
Thank y'all for coming on. I really appreciate it. Y'all are awesome. Everybody go check out Meg's motorcycle journey. The link to her calendar is in the side chat. And I'm going to end it here, and I will see you next week.